I want to go now to Fareed Zakaria, of course. Fareed Zakaria, GPS. And, Fareed, here we are in this moment. And as I just mentioned, Trump backed off the tariffs once, right? He said he was going to do it and then had the call with Trudeau and Sheinbaum and backed off, delayed it a month. So a lot of people in the market thought that's what this was going to be about. A lot of bluster and not a lot of reality. But if he doesn't do it this time, then he loses credibility. Is there any off-ramp for him in these final hours?
Well, I hope there's an off-ramp. It doesn't look like it, as Jeff was saying. But, I try to be measured in how I look at things, Aaron, but this is a really dumb idea. Just give you a sense of why. So you're putting tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Let's take car production. In America, cars are made as a kind of integrated supply chain. In other words, parts moving back and forth from America to Canada to Mexico. They cross the border 3 or 4 times, and you build essentially North American cars. So you're tariffing the part of the American supply chain, and guess who's going to come in? The Korean car manufacturers and the Japanese car manufacturers for whom there are no tariffs. This is a gift to Japan and Korea. Take something like the tariffs on consumer goods or electronic goods coming out of Mexico. What's going to happen is Southeast Asian manufacturers, many of whom are Chinese-owned, or the Chinese are using as a backdoor to get in, are going to be privileged here because there are no tariffs on Malaysia, there's no tariffs on Indonesia, there are no tariffs on Thailand. So it's a very weird own goal where Trump is so obsessed with owning Mexico or Canada that he doesn't realize that what he's doing is actually benefiting China, benefiting Japan, benefiting Korea. And by the way, the American consumer pays the bill.
Right. Certainly when you talk on cars, in terms of prices, in terms of what it could mean for jobs. The thing is, Fareed, as you know, Trump believes tariffs will work, right? I mean, he ardently believes this, very loudly and clearly. Here, just 3 times he said it.
I'm a big believer in tariffs.
The tariffs are going to make us very rich and very strong.
The tariffs are necessary because we've been treated very unfairly by many, many countries, including our friends.
I mean, Fareed, when you use the blunt words, tariffs are a dumb idea, and you explained why. I mean, surely Trump's aware of those arguments. I mean, why does he think this? Why does he think they're such a good idea?
This goes all the way back to his earliest political leanings. In the 80s, he took out an ad when he was a real estate developer. And the ad was all about how Japan was ripping us off. Japan was going to take over the world economy. That's sort of, if there's any consistency in Trump's worldview, it is this deep protectionism. He doesn't, by the way, seem to have noticed that his predictions about Japan turned out to be completely wrong. Japan did not, in fact, take over the world. It did not take over the world economy. And the U.S., by being an open, free-trading, innovative economy, has far surpassed countries like Japan. So, the facts are not on his side, but it doesn't seem to matter.
I mean, in fact, I can remember when Japan was the 2nd largest economy in the world, long since leapfrogged by China. Warren Buffett used the word today, though, or over the weekend, tariffs are an act of war. And Fareed, they come at this fraught and fragile moment. The French foreign minister tonight saying the risk of physical war in Europe has never been so high. That's the quote, has never been so high since the start of the European Union itself. How tenuous is this moment?
I think it is exactly the thing that Buffett was hinting at, which is you're adding to the kind of nationalism, protectionism, the sense that, that we live in a zero-sum game. That's, again, seems to be a core belief for Trump. He never believes in win-win. He has to win and you have to lose. Notice the people with whom he puts pressure, Canada, Mexico, the Europeans, are all American allies. Why does he do that? Well, he has leverage over these people, over these countries. And for Trump, that's where you use the power. He doesn't have that much leverage over Putin and Xi, so he discriminates against our closest allies. It's a world upside down.
It is a world upside down when you put it that way. He would identify the leverage point. That's where you're